Hey guys, this is AV from Abduction, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
For those not familiar with Abduction, can you give us the two-sentence elevator or boardroom pitch?
Yeah. Abduction is a black metal project from the UK, which started off as just me a few years ago, and has become a live band and become a fully fledged band since then. And there's a whole kind of scene of UK black metal bands doing really good things at the minute, and I feel like we're sort of part of that. And yeah, we're an established band. We're on album 5. This is so put out a load of splits and tapes and things like that a while ago. This is the second album on Candlelight Records, which is obviously fairly well-known record label. So
Right. So, do you think the environment that, I often wonder this about Norway as well as, a lot of the Scandinavian countries where it's kind of always doom and gloom, and that's where a lot of that emotional black metal, doom metal comes. Is that the same thing that you think is happening there?
It could be. I was talking with somebody else about the kind of the UK scene recently, and it's doing really well. But the one thing that isn't kind of coming through is there isn't a specific sound. Like Norwegian black metal sounds one way, and American black metal sounds. There are similarities with that. You have this kind of geolocated elements to the sound, which doesn't seem to be the case here. So it's very odd. It's hard to explain. I think we're all products of our environment for sure, and that certainly bleeds through into the music. Yeah.
Yeah. So the new record's out. What would it come out? The 21st, so 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
Last Friday. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it's Existentialismus.
Close. Existentialismus. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry, I don't mean to butcher, but what's been the response to it so far?
It's been very good. Yeah, we have a great label and a lot of kind of backing behind us, and that we wanted to have a bit of an impact, and it looks like that's happened so far. It's really early days yet, but it's only been out like 4 days or something when we record this. So,
right.
But yeah, the pre-orders look good. The retailers look good. Everything's doing really well. My phone's fucking pinging off the hook.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm really pleased for someone in a miserable black metal band. I am actually very pleased. So yeah.
So I know you say you're in a miserable black metal band, and I know that comes through, but I think a lot of times there's deeper meaning than I am a miserable human being, right? And it comes across, I think, in this record.
Yeah.
Is there something you want your fans to take away from after listening to? I'm not gonna try and butcher the name again, but the one that came out the
21st,
right?
Yeah. I just kind of I'm pretty frustrated and upset with kind of the modern world, and that's not a particularly new shtick or anything, it's a common thing, but it's become very clear to me in the last couple of years as kind of a father, and sort of having a bit of an adjustment in my real life, that this has become sort of concentrated and focused, and I'm just kind of sick of where the world is heading. So the way I want to portray my art is by being as honest as possible, and I think it should be a reflection of real life. I think the best art is a reflection of something in real life. That's what seems to stand the test of time and be the most honest. So that's how the records come about. So yeah, I want people to. I think people may find something that they also find commonalities in that with themselves. But if I could get them to take anything away, I guess I kind of want to see their own sort of place in the universe and feel their own speck of moment in the vastness of time, and how inconsequential a lot of it is. and with that, build some resilience and not be such fucking pussies most of the time.
Beautiful. So I just lost my train of thought then because I got sucked into that last bit there. But um oh, I know what I was gonna say. You were mentioning, how it's a reflection of the times, and I think the good music or the music that makes you sticks in your brain is the stuff that's tied to it, right? Music has always been a reflection of the times in the 60s, with whatever was going on in the 70s with Vietnam and racial tensions. And that was always built into those really good musical histories or tapestries, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And there are so many bands, black metal bands or whatever in the world today. There are so many artists and musical projects that they might have a shtick or a kind of a selling point or a theme. But I think you can try too hard with all that kind of stuff. I think the easiest thing to do is just kind of go, what am I about? What are we about? And don't think about it too hard. Just think about what makes you feel something, and that happens to be, the world at the moment and where things may be heading and my fears as a father. And this is all the themes for the record. So it's quite an obvious choice, really, once you kind of step back and go, what is the world about? I suppose. But yeah, that's my take on it anyway. I mean, there are people that will disagree and say, black metal needs to be this way, black metal needs to have this and needs to have this, but I don't fucking care about any of that shit. To me, it needs to have an emotional connection to something, and it needs to be as true to itself as possible. And I think I've done nothing but that. So
you feel a sense of responsibility to your listeners to, point this stuff out, or do you think they're just all living it? We know what you're getting at, or how does that work?
I hope that they know what I'm getting at. Yeah, I feel a responsibility because we're doing interviews and stuff to explain it. But I don't. I mean, even if we didn't do any of this, I would hope that the art speaks for itself. I really would. We spent a lot of time making sure this time around that the artwork and the presentation meets the themes and the ideas on there, and it all ties together, because that messaging can quite easily get lost. So I feel really proud of actually what we've done in terms of that, and we've tied it all together, and it seems to be the thing, that the people are asking the right kind of questions, like yourself, and that's really, really encouraging. Whereas in previous albums, it's not been quite so sharp, the interrogation's not been quite so on the mark. It's been a bit more general. So I think the message maybe is good.
Fair enough. When I was reading your bio and, the stuff the record company sent out, I was totally caught by somewhere between a description of biblical gospel and Nietzschean nightmare.
Yeah.
I know you don't know anything about me, but I am a PhD candidate and I work in metal and religion and that sort of thing. Done a couple films, and that's beautiful. Does that pretty much sum it all up?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote that, so yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I think I started that passage with saying I'm by no means a philosopher, which is absolutely true, and I'm certainly in the presence of someone who knows more about this kind of thing than me by the sound of it. So, but no, I think there is a lot of, despite the kind of anti-Christian hysterics of black metal throughout the years, and I'm not a Christian in the slightest. I think there's a lot to be taken from the faith of religion and the vastness of something greater, and the essence of self. So we don't seem to have any of those kind of thoughts anymore. My job as a teacher, I'm dealing with the next generation of children, and it's just not there. They don't have any fucking clue about the world, or any kind of mystery or magic in it. So I just kind of concentrating all of that into my thoughts. I do read quite a bit, and I try and challenge myself and my thoughts and my opinions all the time. But I think it's just an obvious theme for me, coming from in the position I'm in. So yeah, between what did I say, religious something or other and a Nietzschean nightmare. Yeah.
Hey, permission to stay here for 1 second?
Sure.
I think, religion, it can fit in any sort of metal because I would argue it's, to be honest, right? It's organic, it's honest when it's what I'm feeling and my take on the world. It doesn't always have to be, I don't think, demonic or however you define demonic, because I'm not religious either, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And well, the historical kind of music of Abduction has always been about reaching for that higher power and finding somewhere else and go pushing beyond, you know. So I'm very much about that. I mean, you could look at that in a religious sense. It's not how I look at it, but I totally get that it's the same as someone in a church searching for God, you know. It's the same kind of processes in the brain, and you know, the same questions you ask yourself, but it's not a religious thing. But yeah, this one I wanted to make it a bit more personal, a bit more, how does all this affect me? How does this loss of in the world of this empty fucking miserable modern world of zero meaning, what does that mean for me and my child who's, you know, 10 years old now? What's 10 years in the future look like? What does 20 years in the future look like? So yeah, and these are just thoughts, you know. They're not I'm not starting a religion.
Ever feel you're too vulnerable in your lyrics?
Sorry?
Ever feel you're too vulnerable?
It's a little challenge in the new album. In Truth is as Sharp as Sword as Vengeance, the third track, that's very specifically about kind of my fears for my son. And that's pretty vulnerable, you know, which is an unusual thing to do in black metal. And yeah, it feels vulnerable, definitely. It seems to have gone down pretty well. I've had some really positive feedback about it, but you know, that there's that moment before it comes out, the lead up to the release, I'm going, fuck, how do I share it? Oh, it's too late now. I've shared it, you know, I've recorded it and it's going out. But yeah, the response has been great. So
it's great. And do you have any plans to take this out on the road, or is that not even possible?
Yeah. We're pretty busy as a live band. I would love to get across the Atlantic Ocean to play for you guys. Right. Maybe that'll happen one day. I don't know. There's no immediate plans for that. But yeah, no, we're out and about. We're playing some really quite big festivals for our kind of music over the next coming year. We've done a lot of touring in the past, but I think we're just going to focus a bit more on the sort of, we call it weekend warrior shit.
Yeah, I mean,
the bigger festival
tour. I know. I talk to bands all the time, and
yeah,
you're not doing this to be millionaires and stay on the road for 6 months. It's not possible anymore.
Exactly. And we're limited a little bit by time we can tour and things. So we're just going to be a little bit more focused with what we do and a bit more choosy, but and hopefully that pays off. It's a difficult one.
Are you going to release more singles?
No, there's three singles for this album. There's only 6 tracks. So like it's you know, it kind of, that's enough, I think. But we do have some more plans for some, I can't really say anything, but not a single release. Not a video release, but some kind of new content. I have some kind of secret plans for that, but I can't say anything about that yet. Not many people do, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I just want to keep things fresh. I want to keep new ideas coming, challenge myself, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. So I know we talked about, you know, your lyrics and where you're coming from and blah, and that whole thing, but where do you think we go from here?
Just don't know. I just don't know, man. And it's the unknown that creates the fear, isn't it? So we seem to be shrinking down in terms of like emotional intelligence as a species, and attention span is just almost evaporated for the youth.
I preach about that all the time.
Yeah. This is a day-to-day constant worry of myself. And, you know, I've been in working in education for many years, and I've seen it rapidly decline in the last kind of 2 or 3 years. So I'm sure you know what you're talking about there as well. Yeah. So I don't know where that goes. I don't know. Do we just become crack addicts, dopamine fiend beasts, addicted to technology? I don't know. All I can do is control what I can control. So setting up myself and my family and my son for whatever that future is. But that's it's the great unknown, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I feel it's going to be dopamine addicts subservient to AI somewhere along the way.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're probably somewhere along the right lines there. I hate to say that. I can't even imagine, you know.
It's horrible to think of.
Right. Anyway, sorry about taking you down the rabbit hole, but
No, it's good. Yeah, I mean, in that song, "Truth is a sharper sword as vengeance." I think the truth, if you have an indisputable truth, that is going to be the most powerful weapon, And the last section of that song is like a little sort of almost a prayer to my son for the future, and that's whatever comes next. That just needs to happen. So that is just if you look at the lyrics for that song, I mean, it's bless his future even through the darkness, and build in him a fortress strong. His curious mind may it remain open, and squeeze as many questions out of this wretched world that the elasticity of his neurons can shoulder. May we answer them with critical eye, and adorn his inquisitive nature with a shield branded logos and a sword sharp enough to slay falsehoods and untruths, the many that will come. Yeah, I'm getting shivers just saying that.
I was going to say, I just got the chills too. That's powerful.
Like, that's like the most obvious emotional part of the album. And that encapsulates everything you're trying to say there, everything you're asking.
Perfect, man. So if fans want to find you, where can they do so?
You can search Abduction on Bandcamp. We are the English Abduction, not the French Abduction. And yeah, Spotify, anywhere you normally get your music. The album is available in the US through whoever distributes Universal Records over there. So I'm assuming most of the retailers have it. But yeah, that's the plan, is just keep growing and hopefully get stateside.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your time. I don't know if I took that somewhere you didn't want to go, but
No, it was cool, man. That was great. Thank you for your time.
I like to just chat. I think those are the best conversations. So
yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Awesome. Good luck with the record. I really do dig it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot, man. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Bjorn from Soulwork, and this is Brutally Delicious.
The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hey there, heavy metal maniacs and kitchen crusaders. I'm Bruce Moore, the host of the Brutally Delicious Podcast, where we whisk up a blend of metal and food to quench even the most discriminate tastes. Have you ever wondered what your favorite metal musician chows down on before they hit the stage to melt your face off? Well, look no further. Here at the Brutally Delicious Podcast, we have cooking segments so brutal they'll make your oven want to headbang. From beefy, bodacious burgers, to spicy, succulent salmon, to kickin' caliente cauliflower, and more. We mix metal and culinary creations, resulting in a feast for the senses.
But wait, there's more.
Hey, this is Michael Monroe. Brutally Delicious. Isn't that beautiful? See you down the road.
Each week, I meet with the mammoths of metal for interviews that are spicier than a Carolina Reaper. Get the latest on their upcoming shows, behind-the-scenes stories, and if we're lucky enough, maybe they'll share a secret family recipe or two with us. You'll also want to check out our weekly album and show reviews, where we dice, slice, and serve up our unique takes on the latest metal releases. So grab your leather apron, crank to volume 211, and subscribe to the Brutally Delicious Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. It's sure to be a hell of a time.
Oh, hey there. It's Tim from Protest the Hero. Now that you've seen my junk, I'm going to show you how to make a pizza. And you're watching Brutally Delicious.
What's up, everybody? Max Cavalera, Soulfly, and you listen to Brutally Delicious Podcast. Stay metal, motherfuckers. And from the birds. South